So coming into doing the coaching and now sort of branching off, taking it a step further, I at least can speak to for myself where it almost feels like you never know enough. It almost feels like you need to get a little bit more certified to help a little bit more people. I would assume that's partly of what sort of sparked your interest into continuing learning more and more stuff.
Absolutely. And what you just said, you feel like you never know enough.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. I mean, in any case, it's all about learning. This industry, there's many industries that are like this, but certainly I can speak about health and wellness. It's
Mm-hmm.
constant continuing education on a regular basis, just because the science does change, the research does change, expectations change. So it is, we're continuously learning and reviewing and seeing what other people are doing.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, what I've learned with the clients that come in, I don't have to have all the answers. I really don't. And this is something that took many years to learn. Like, what if they ask this and what if they ask that? You know. But now I realize it's not about that. It's usually it's much simpler.
Mm-hmm.
And for them, it's also about helping them with something, you know, that potentially is very simple but life changing.
Mm-hmm.
But so keeping up with credentials, keeping up with the learning, keeping up with the trends, even just so that I know what's potentially on their mind.
Mm-hmm.
Right. It's important. Yeah, for sure.
And I think you said something really important. You talked about, no matter how much you learn, no matter how much more detail you can get into, for the most part, it tends to be the basics, tends to be these smaller things, let's call them strategic things that have a larger impact in the end anyways.
Yeah, no, they do. And for a number of reasons. And I mean, a lot of people come in, they will, want to work with a coach thinking it's going to be this huge life-changing habit changing. I want a new lifestyle. I need a new lifestyle. I need new habits. And maybe they do, but we can't change everything because after 3 days, we'll be back with it's too much. I can't do it. Mm-hmm. So I always ask them, we'll go over. Sometimes they surprise me. I get this 1 hour history of all these things that they feel are bothering them and all these things that are, poor habits that really need to change. And I've been writing notes and typing notes and thinking I know exactly where I want to start. But I asked them, what is that one small piece you think you want to start with? Just small. And they'll always come in with something else, And I had someone recently who we could have started on any number of areas, There was no physical activity coming in. Sleep is really not happening right now. Stress is through the roof with her job. Eating has been poor. And we had this whole discussion. I didn't know where she was going to start, but she ended up picking the fact that she wants less aspartame in her day. Mm-hmm. And that's a fantastic place to start, right? Because that means now she's thinking about, well, what's the aspartame potentially doing to me? Or so kind of going from there, but small changes. Either what I find is a small change is going to show success much sooner because they're able to stick with it, right? Person is able to stick usually with the small change. And we change the way we measure success, right? Someone might come into a program, I need to lose this much weight. I want to weigh in a week's time or 2 weeks' time. Let's just change how we measure success. Are you able to stick with this new habit for 2 weeks? That's what we're looking at, right? Whatever the change might be. So it's just really reframing what does success look like, reframing the goals, keep it small. And then when they do see that success, they're ready to add something else. And that to me is, that's when we're really going to make a difference.
Do you find that you're more so asking people what they want to change rather than telling them what to change? I definitely noticed that for myself as I progressed as a coach.
Absolutely. And that comes down to the motivation as well, right? So we'll have this discussion and you are the expert, as far as I recall, on motivational interviewing and so on and so forth. So we do have a big part of the coaching is that. So I need to know what's driving the client. It's not my goal. I could think of hundreds of goals. I'm like, oh, I'd love to see them do this. I'd love to see that. It's going to be wonderful. If it comes from me, it's not their goal. It has to come from them. I need to hear them say it. I need to hear them say why it's important to them. I need to hear them say what change might come from that. So once they tell me what their goal is, that's where we start.
That's it was a big sort of mind shift for me as well as I was learning
Mhm.
that, because I guess they expect you to be the expert, and you are the expert, but it's almost like they sometimes expect you to just tell them what to do, and it's you almost have to flip it on their head, on its head, and tell, okay, no, I can tell you how to get there perhaps, but you have to tell me where you want to get it, why is it important, what are you able to do right now, and then we can start to bridge
Mm.
that gap. Because I can have the perfect plan, I can write it down, but if it doesn't fit your lifestyle, if it doesn't excite you, you're going to last maybe a week, 2 weeks, like most of these other plans that are out there do.
Exactly. No, exactly. And I had a lady tell me this week. It was a third call I think we had,
Mhm,
and she said that basically that exact thing. She said, I need to tell you, this is not at all what I expected from this program. This is in the corporate setting.
mhm,
And she said, I expected to call you up and to say, I need to lose weight. And you'd say, here's a meal plan, and you follow this meal plan. And she said, I already knew I wasn't going to follow it because I don't follow meal plans. She said, but you didn't give me one.
mhm.
Right. And so that's also a big part of what we do, because there's a lot of, you can get meal plans. And to be honest, I very rarely write a meal plan. It's going to take a lot of my time and
Mhm.
energy and research to give it over for someone to look at it for 2 minutes and say, yeah, I don't think I can actually do this.
Yes.
So a lot of nutritionists offer meal plans, and I think it's great. There's a place for that. It's important. It's good as a reference point, if anything, to say what might an ideal meal plan look like, for
Mhm,
example. But on a realistic, functional level, I need to look at one meal at a time, perhaps. That's all we're going to be changing, right?
mhm.
Um, Again, small change for this. And yes, I need the input of the person I'm working with.